Welcome back to From the Point by your favorite point. Another episode presented by Sprite, Winter Spice, Cranberry. Back here with Bleacher Report. Again with my guy Winston. And then got my longtime friend, best friend, probably in the NBA. Played AAU with each other. Now NBA champ, Michael Porter Jr., MPJ, my brother. What's
Mike,
up,
what up, man?
What
You
up,
straight?
baby? We got to come up with the handshake, too.
Yeah, we got to get a handshake. We do that every episode.
Yeah. I think we got to start showing people backstage first so ain't nobody thrown off.
Facts. But, recently, I seen you at the in-season tournament game in L.A. Y'all played the next day. Pulled up with Floyd, my boy.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, what was the game like? How'd you pull up with him? What was it like?
Yeah, man. First of all, I was hot because I wanted to play in that tournament. I thought the in-season tournament overall was a success for the first year. It went a lot more smoother than we thought. I think we needed one more win to secure the spot. So we played the Clippers the next day. And so I just pulled up to the game. Floyd hit me and asked if I wanted to pull up with him. And just went to watch the game. It's different sitting courtside, watching when you're not on the bench. It was a whole different experience. But like you said, Floyd, a cool dude, real down to earth. When I'm with him, I just like to ask him questions like, how have you been great so long? How do you take care of your body? I just pick his brain, bro. So it was a good experience chilling with him courtside for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. Trae, I know you pulled up to a playoff game last year. You kind of started to touch on it a little bit, but how was that experience? For you, whenever most of the times you don't pull up to NBA games as a fan, but as a player in the game. So what was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was clean. I was watching. I went to two. I went and watched Steph play.
Oh yeah, you did go to two.
Steph play LeBron, and then I went and saw him play LeBron. I just be in LA in the summertime, so that's just the time.
Oh yeah.
Just out there, just you get to just train, but it was just a fortunate time. I got to watch him. The last time I went and saw when the Warriors played the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals after our rookie year, and it was it's different. Like you said, it's different watching it and being in it. You see things that you could have done that would have been different, and then it looks sometimes more physical from just watching the game.
Don't it?
Watching the game, it looks way more physical than when you're in it. And I'm like, that's a weird thing too.
These dudes are super fast. Because I think when you're about to play and you're even on the bench, you're already ready to play. You're ready to get out there, so you're already in the mode of playing. When you're just over there chilling in your street clothes, you're like, yo, these dudes are moving fast. It's
man.
Crazy.
Facts.
Mike, first of all, man, congrats on winning a championship this year, bro.
Appreciate that, bro.
That's so major.
Yep.
We recorded an episode it was earlier on this summer. I think it was right after you won. And Trae, you had made a comment. You were like, man, I'm just jealous of Mike, man. I just want to be in the final so bad, man. But seriously, during those that time, those conversations that you were having with Mike, what were those conversations like, and how did those conversations motivate you to get back to the playoffs and eventually go get you a championship?
Man, watching him was motivating. Jealousy is just love and hate at the same time. So it's jealousy isn't necessarily a bad thing all the time. We joke about it being jealous. That's my brother. I was pulling for him. We communicated every now and then throughout the playoffs. He knew I was pulling for him, and so just seeing him achieve a chip, the stuff that we talked about since traveling around the country playing basketball is it's cool to see, and it's obviously motivating for his brother to want to go do the same thing. And so and I know he wants to do the same thing and get another one. So it's just motivating for each other to keep doing it. So it's cool.
What about you? What was that time like for you, man? Hadn't been to the finals before. How was it?
Well, man, tracing back to even college and not being able to play in college, I was looking at Trae and seeing what he was doing, and he said, I was so happy for him seeing what he was doing at Oklahoma, but part of me was like, man, I want to be out there too. He was motivating me to get back on the court. And so even my rookie season, seeing him when they would come play in Denver and he's just killing us, I'm like, man, I cannot wait to get out there. So when he talks about kind of that jealousy aspect, I feel that because I was looking at him the same way when I couldn't play. And so, we made it to the Western Conference Finals in the bubble, but it was nothing like when you get the arena full of fans, and all that. So I remember watching him in the Eastern Conference Finals, out in New York and everything like that, and just watching his whole playoff run and how that went, and that motivated me, So then we went to the finals, like I was just it was a crazy experience because the Western Conference Finals was one thing, but then to make it to the finals, it's a whole nother level up from the media attention, from just the pressure of the games. Like you're so close to winning an actual championship. And so like Trae said, man, we were communicating. He was telling me stuff he saw in the games, just telling me to go get one. And man, just what I've been through individually, and then to fall in the draft to Denver. It's crazy that I think I'm the first guy in our draft class really to win a championship. So, I mean, God works in mysterious ways. So it was unreal. And, I think we got a little bit of the hangover right now. We're not really as sharp or as motivated right now as a team. But, man, that was a incredible run.
No, that was a crazy run. Was there a time in the finals that you knew, like, okay, this is over? Like, cause y'all, I mean, in the finals, y'all did y'all's thing. I mean, even leading up then, like, was there a time in the playoffs or was there a time in the finals that you were like, okay,
yeah,
we're going to win it?
I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, we felt so dominant, like, in the playoffs. Like, I think our hardest series was probably Minnesota in round 1 or Phoenix in the second round when, D-Book and KD were going crazy. So, then we played the Lakers. We swept them, and even though they were a really good team. By the time we got to the finals, and we saw we were matching up against the Heat, we kind of knew we had them. Like before the series even started, we just knew matchup-wise. And obviously the Heat are very scrappy. They're a really good team. We couldn't figure out how they beat the Bucks. We couldn't figure out how they beat Boston. So I think Boston overall matched up with us a little bit better than the Heat. So I think from the very beginning, we knew if we took care of business, having home court advantage, playing in the altitude, if we took care of business, we kind of knew we could get a ring.
That's fire. That's fire. How has life been since then? How has life been off the court? How has life been even on the court?
Yeah, I mean, not much changes. Of course, everywhere you go, it's congrats, champ. It's amazing the support you get. Everyone just referring to you as champ. That's really dope. That's how I was getting referred to all summer. I did a little bit of traveling, went to Taiwan. It was crazy to see the fans over there halfway around the world. Like I landed at like 4 a.m. and the whole airport is just filled with fans. And I'm like, it was crazy. They all just had telling me congrats and things like that. The only other place I really got to travel was to the Bahamas for your wedding, just because the off season was so short because we won the championship. So that was the only downside I would say is the off season was so short. But overall, man, like life has been good. I think once you get there, and we've always been winners, like back to high school, we've always been winning championships. We won with Team USA, we won with MoCan. So I'm used to winning. So, I mean, the NBA championship is different, but it's really just the same. We're winners. We're addicted to winning. So it's not like you can let your foot off the gas. I was right back in LA trying to get better, this summer, playing with you some. And that's really what it is. I mean, you just, until you put your shoes up, put the ball up, you just continue to try to get better, and we're trying to do it again this year.
So this can kind of be a question for the both of you. What feeling lingers the most, winning or getting knocked out?
I know my answer right off the bat. I mean, it's losing. Like I have like PTSD and like trauma from that Sun series when they swept us. I think it was the year before, and they swept us. I think Jamal was hurt. I got hurt like the first game, and we got swept. And it was just like, so to get them back last year, it was good. But man, when you lose, especially like in an embarrassing manner, that sticks with you for sure.
No, for sure. I think, man, I used to be like that. Like, it's crazy. Like, I used to be like that. Like, I used to hold on to my losses way more. I don't know. It's something about just having kids. It just makes you, like, appreciate moments more. You know what I'm saying?
I've heard that too. I've heard that.
It makes you just appreciate, like, the better things more. And I think not saying I don't hold on to the L's that I take or hold on to the losses, because trust me, like, I'm the first one to tell you, I hold on to that more than anything. So I remember everything, but it's like I also remember the good times, and like, cause I like when you leave the arena, you're somebody else too. So you can't be mad all the time and feeling down in a certain way all the time. So when you said that, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Is like, yeah, that's just the competitor in you, and that's just the beast that's just in us, and the winner that's in us. But it's like something like sometimes things change you, bro, and it's like I feel like just having kids has made me see, just hold on to certain things maybe a little bit more and just appreciate, and this makes me chase more happy memories than just holding on to certain grudges. And
Man, I've heard that actually. Like I've had teammates before who have kids, and the way they handle their losses or whatever is so much different than the guys that don't. Like we're stuck in the locker room. We're probably pouting. We're reflecting on the game. Man, they're hitting the showers. Whatever. It's time to go home and be a dad. And even if you lose, you got your family to go back to cheer you up. So I feel that for sure.
No, it's a totally different feeling, bro.
Yeah, y'all talk about cherishing on to those amazing things. I think one of the most amazing things that the NBA is grateful for is y'all's draft class, for sure. Like you said, you were the only, I think you're the only player as of now to win a championship, but y'all's draft class is stacked, man. We've told, obviously Trae and I were close during his draft process, but what was your draft process like? I'm sure it was pretty different from a lot of other guys that were going through that year. Walk us through kind of what your draft process was like and how you just kind of stay ready and prepared for what was eventually where you're at now.
Yeah, man. Honestly, my whole draft process was like depressing because I was wanting to work out. I was wanting to travel and work out with teams, but I wasn't right yet. Dating back to college, that's when I first got injured. Actually, Trae remembers this pretty clearly. Like the time when I really like messed up my back. Remember I tried to dunk in practice? Austin. I'm talking about I tried to boom on this dude and I fell from way up here. I thought I died. Like I fell on my back. And what happened was I didn't take enough time off. So my back kept nagging me all the way into college to where, I had to get the surgery. And what happened was I came back too soon to try to play in it's not even called the playoffs in college.
NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I tried to come play back in the NCAA tournament, came back too soon, and my back wasn't fully healed, so I kind of re-injured it.
Yep.
So the whole draft process, bro, like I'm not able to work out like I want to. I'm trying to get my back right, and it's just depressing, man, because I'm seeing all these dudes kill it and like whatever. So what happened was me and my agent decided to have one pro day. We were going to invite all the teams in to watch me, go through it. So I hadn't really been working out a whole lot, but I took some anti-inflammatories, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go show them what I can do. Worked out pretty well, didn't miss too many shots, and I remember like teams were pretty impressed because they hadn't seen me for a while.
Yep.
And the Sacramento Kings at number 2, they met with me. They were like, man, like we really like you. Like we might take you at number 2 because they thought I was fully healthy. So my agent hit me and was like, we're gonna do one more pro day in front of the top 10 teams because there's a chance you might go number 1. Like, they all thought you looked healthy, and that was the biggest question mark. So I'm hyped, but at the same time, my back is still bothering me. So I remember the day before that second pro day, like I couldn't get out of bed. Like my back spasmed up that bad that I couldn't get out of bed. And I called my agent. I'm like, bro, like I don't even think I can go work out. Like all these teams flew in and everything. So I'm like scared because this is my whole future ahead of me. You know what I mean? And so we decided to let all the team doctors like look at me. So instead of the pro day, I go to the gym, I'm laying on the table, and all these doctors are just analyzing me, and I know I'm not right. It's just like it's a traumatizing moment. Like I know I'm not right, but there's nothing I can do about it. And so I'm trying to fake it like I'm not in pain on the table, trying to fake like I'm all right. Meanwhile, I'm hurting. So the Clippers doctor was the one who and I don't really hold a grudge, but I know who it was. The Clippers doctor is the one that wrote up the report, once they all analyzed me. It was like, he'll probably never play again. Like, that's how bad my back was. And so, so then I don't even know how my agent really finessed it to where a team was willing to take a chance on me. After reading that report that the doctor read, I think the Nuggets were just like, man, his upside is pretty high. Even if we got to deal with the injury, let's try to at least figure it out. So, man, we go to New York for the draft, I see name after name go by, dudes that I think I'm better than. And I'm sitting there in pain. I'm watching all these dudes get drafted. And then get drafted to Denver, man. And, like, at the time, it was not how I viewed the NBA draft going for me. I always, since high school, viewed going up there, 1, 2, 3. And so that was tough to go 14. It was like a hit to my ego, hit to my pride. But even then, I'm like, man, I don't even know if I could hoop. So fly to Denver. You know how that goes after you get drafted. And they do their whole analyzing. And, I don't really even talk about this story a lot, but I really didn't know if I was going to hoop again. But they got me right, took the year off, first year, and started playing my second year. And it's been a journey since then, a lot to go through. But looking back, especially after the championship, those are the times you reflect. You're like, man, God's fingerprints were somewhere in this story. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's an amazing testimony, bro. Thank you for sharing that.
Fast.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, shoot, you really went through everything in your draft process. And honestly, we've talked about this too, but how important that draft process is to mold you for your future, no matter what the circumstances are. It could be a humbling moment. It could be something like that. So I'm so happy that it worked out for the both of y'all, man.
And it's crazy too. I mean, this is just off the rip. Like, talent alone, Mike should have been top 3 draft, like, in our class. Like,
I remember.
It's not even a debate. Like, the reason he fell to 14 is because people had questions. Like, and people don't understand. Like, really, that's why he got paid the way he did. Like, people know the talent he has. Like, and him being a third option just brought them a chip.
Yeah.
Like, he can really bring more. It's just about situation. It's about being, like, people believing in you. So it's really cool, like, to hear how it all, really worked out for you in the long run, to be honest with you.
No, in fact, you too, because I remember watching you in the summer league, and, like, you were struggling at first, but I remember I put a little video on Snapchat, I think. I was like, bro, like, stop talking crazy about Trae, because you know how people are. They see it's recency bias. So they saw the summer league, they're like, man, he might struggle in league. I'm like, no, watch. Like, he's going to kill. And then I think you were, second year in the league, you were an all-star starter. Like, one of the best point guards in the league, led the league in points and assists. Like, I feel like you, out of anyone in our draft class, are severely underrated. Like, you're one of the best players in the NBA. And so, and you're right, it is about situation. Like, you've been lucky enough. I remember even back to, and I know I'm just talking right now, but, like, I remember back in high school, you text me, you like, bro, where should I go to college? Like, you think I should go to Kentucky or Oklahoma? I'm like, nah, Trae, go to a team that's going to let you be you and go dominate. And then you went to Oklahoma and did your thing. And it's been the same thing in the league with the Hawks. You got an organization that believed in you, and you've been killing ever since, bro. So it's been fun to watch.
Well, I appreciate it.
Did y'all ever talk about teaming up in college?
Did we? What?
Yeah, we were going to.
He had me thinking.
Why not?
He had me putting Washington on my final list.
Y'all were about to go to Washington together?
Nah, he was never going to come to Washington. I decommitted from Washington. Like, I got him to at least put Washington in, like, his top 10 maybe. But, like, I remember I decommitted from Washington, and I was like, Trae, should I go to Missouri? Should I come to Oklahoma? He kept saying Oklahoma, but
I was trying.
They hired my dad at Mizzou, so I had to go back home.
Yeah.
You made the right decision. But let's go, since we're talking about AAU, let's go to it. I know it's a lot of debate always. I'm in the locker room always debating our team. Like, do you ever get in heated conversations about AAU, like with teammates? Where do you rank us? Do you ever have conversations?
I do. Because, like, Aaron played on a really good team, Oakland Soldiers.
Yeah.
Who else played? There's a few guys, but we got a lot of young dudes.
Maybe showing.
So I think, they showing the highlights. Yeah, nah. I always tell them, nah, that's the best AAU team ever. And the only reason I say that is because, bro, in the Peach Jam, which is the highest, like, place of basketball, biggest tournament ever, we were smacking teams by 30 every game. Like, we didn't win the championship by 10 points. We won by 30, you know what I mean? And then besides me and you, we had probably the best basketball coach I've ever really, like, been played under. Coach P was amazing. And then you got all the role players, John Tay, you got
Jared Ritter. We had your brother Jonte, like you said.
We were cold, bro.
Elijah, Cartier Gordon.
This is where you learned how
Brian
to throw
Trimble.
lobs.
Brian Trimble.
Because I know you wasn't throwing lobs to me in high school. So
No. I had to save my lob throwing for this.
I was a
this time of
serious
year.
lob threat back in the day.
I was about to say that's
what I'm saying.
Much
They
more
ain't
of a
even
lob threat than I could have been.
the world. My age, our age, we know the lob threat Mike is. Like the world really ain't seen it yet.
And it's been, injuries.
It's
You
been
got
a
to
minute.
change your game, bro. But I used to be like
Bounce.
punching stuff. And I think I seen a clip where y'all posted on the podcast where people have questions if Trae can play with like a superstar. And he was like, man, like I played with Mike in high school and we were a dynamic duo. Like people don't know how willing of a passer he is. He would rather pass than score. He can just go get 40 or 50 because he's that good. But really, he would have a layup, and might throw it off the backboard, and I'm catching it and windmilling it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he's always been such a willing passer, which I think, people know he can pass, but that's definitely an underrated part of his game.
For sure. I mean, yeah, there were some really, really good AAU teams. I've got one here, 1994 New Jersey Patterson AAU team. That team had Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter, Tim Thomas, Rip Hamilton, and Kevin Freeman. The SoCal All-Stars of 2005 and 2006. Kevin Love, Brandon Jennings, Chase Budinger, Taylor King, and Daniel Hackett. They only lost 2 times in 2 years.
What circuit did they play on though? Like
That's what I'm saying.
Did they even play on a circuit?
I don't know if they had circuits like that. I mean, that's 05,
not like
06.
not like EYB though. That was
Right.
like some totally different. I feel like.
Kobe, you said Kobe and Vince played together?
Yeah.
And Rip Hamilton. Hey, I ain't gonna
I'm
lie.
sure they were nice.
There was an Indy Heat team in 2004 with Greg Oden, Mike Conley,
We may have
Eric
won by
Gordon,
like 5-10.
Jeff Teague, and Daquan Cook.
We still winning though.
Because Greg Oden back then,
Yeah, who guarded Greg
dominant.
Oden? Yeah.
Like B. Roy, like Brandon Roy will tell you, Greg Oden was like dominant.
B. Roy was your coach in high school, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
Man, B. Roy, like, he let us rock. Besides Mocan, my high school team, Nathan Hill, we went to Seattle. I moved to Seattle, and it was the worst team in the little league there. We went there. B. Roy decided to be the coach, and we went undefeated, #1 team in the country, beat teams like Sierra Canyon, Oak Hill.
Remember, y'all were nice.
Nah, we was nice. And B. Roy was a big part of that. He's one of those dudes.
That's
I don't think he really played for like a player's coach like that, like a dude who used to play in the league, or like.
Yeah.
But they give you a whole different type of confidence. Like B. Roy was like, Mike, nah, if you're hot and you come past half court and you feel good, Hezzy somebody from
Let it
half
rip.
court.
There you go.
He was really telling me that. So that's why I was killing so much in Nathan Hale, was because of B. Roy.
That's fire.
Who was on that Mocan squad? Who was one of the most underrated guys on your team? That
I think Jared Ritter, I'm gonna say.
Jared Ritter had a strap, man.
his role was to
Man,
shoot.
What?
Wait, and then we had that backup PG that backed you up. Elijah would have some timely
Landrum?
buckets too.
Yeah.
He would have some timely.
He had some timely buckets, man.
Elijah Landrum from Tulsa.
Yeah, from Tulsa.
Oh yeah,
Man, we had a squad. Like
yeah, for sure.
Everybody went D1,
Yeah.
like high major. Only one, the lowest was probably Army.
Mm.
Guy named Connor went to Army.
Connor.
Mike,
My fault, Connor.
light skin. That's just crazy, bro.
Man, dang! I can't believe that was the lowest offer. I mean, it's very clear that like you guys.
No, but we
were-
had so we had him, Missouri, Oklahoma,
Oh yeah, Connor.
SMU. Jared Ritter went to Xavier. I mean, we had.
Yeah, and then like Jonte's in the league right now. Cartier could have went to the league. I don't know really what his situation is.
Yeah,
Brian was dumb athletic.
Florida State. That's what I'm saying.
State.
We had a squad. But what do you think about today? So now you got an AAU team. I got one. What do you think about like today's AAU? Like, do you think it's different? Like,
Well, first of
I
all,
have my opinions on it, but what do you think about it?
first of all, what happened when our AAU teams played each other? Bro, we smacked them boys. But I think
we don't need it. That was uncalled for, bro.
nah, he
I'm
got a
about to have
squad. Though. I think we played him back the next year, and his team got better and beat ours. But I think how has it changed? I don't know. I mean, my team isn't on the circuit, but it's really just good. I know you feel this way too. Is like being able to give back to these kids, really,
For sure.
and just like from areas where we're from and bring kids together. My team is in the middle of Columbia, Missouri, so you got the St. Louis, the Brad Beal team over here. You got Mocan and KC, so it's hard to get good kids, but even just giving back, bro, is the main thing I like about having a team.
It's hard. It's hard to compete getting kids when
tough.
you're competing with them. I had to deal with that same problem, man. But
aren't y'all like one of the best teams y'all are one of the best teams, right?
One of the best teams in Adidas. I mean, we about to have our first pro. You know, Jacoby Walter plays for Baylor.
I've heard the name.
He is a freshman. Player. About to be a top player. He's about to be my first draft pick. So.
And then doesn't your little brother play on the team too?
Yeah, no? He's on like the 13U team. So
that's fire.
So it's cool, like you said, just to give back and just have kids, bro. Like be able to give back and hopefully have kids make it to the league is cool.
I agree.
So people, if I'm not mistaken, Mike, in high school you went to Steph Curry's camp, and you won MVP at that camp. Man, what was that like for you? I remember seeing highlights because my invite must got lost in the mail or something. I didn't get that invite, but
I don't know what they.
But what was that experience like for you? And man, just getting to learn from somebody like that, who I'm sure at the time and probably still is like, one of the players you look up to.
Oh yeah. I think that year Steph was like unanimous MVP. So, I mean, I was super hyped when I got the invite. I think you were gonna go, but you were more of a Nike dude at the time, right?
Yeah.
You were at the Nike camp. I think I went there and missed out on like a Nike trip they did in the Bahamas or something. But working out with Steph, I mean, you just kind of see the work ethic. So from a young age, like that was imprinted on me, like how good this dude is, how he prepares, how he works out, and it just kind of carried me through to the league. Like I'm always trying to learn little things. Like even playing with Joker now, like I'm trying to learn little things on how you can achieve greatness. So that was my first experience really being around a superstar like that, and I got to take a lot of things in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the camp was for a lot of guards, and I was like a bigger guard at the time. So me and you remember Billy Preston?
Mm-hmm.
We were the biggest dudes at the camp. So like one-on-one drills and things like that. Like
he was nice too.
Yeah. I was winning a lot of those.
I remember.
Yeah, Billy was nice.
Yeah. You've obviously worked out with Steph a lot this summer, the previous summer. This is a question for both of you guys, but what has been your biggest takeaway from him, either the way he works or kind of the certain things you guys get to work on during those workouts?
Man, I think it's pretty simple. A lot of people say the same thing, just the speed in which he works and like the conditioning part. Like, I mean, you just feel more in shape when you leave a workout. Like, you just feel like you just accomplished 2-3 workouts in that hour that you spent with him. Like, and it could be simple drills as far as just shooting layups, going full court, doing 2-ball dribbling and just touching lights and little things like that. It could be simple, but it's just the conditioning and how fast you go. That's when you learn like that, how the pace in which you like practice really matters and affects in how you play too.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, like he said, it's the pace and like I think Steph's greatest attribute is like his how good a shape he's in. Like Trae said, like he got a trainer named Brandon Payne, amazing trainer. But like those are the workouts in my whole life that when I leave those, I feel like I got better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I come back to the gym the next day, I'm like, oh, like my handle feels tighter.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel as tired running. Like so he works at a completely different level than I think anyone I've seen really works at.
Mm-hmm.
Is there we in year 6, right? Like we in year 6 now. It's like you don't really we play our idols, but it's not like the same like feeling. Like how do you feel when you play like your guys? Like I mean, we used to go. KD sponsored our AU team. Like I know you looked up to him and the way he played and all that. Like how does it feel now? Like you've played against him some years. You've even been in. I mean, playoff battles with him. Like how's it feel going up against some of your idols? And
yeah, I think it definitely takes a year or two to kind of get rid of that kind of mindset of like, man, like I'm guarding KD or KD's guarding me. Like, do I really want to go at him right now? Like, and you don't really have that but it's in the back of your head. Like, man, this dude is a superstar. LeBron, KD, Steph, all these guys that we grew up watching. I think it took me like a year to kind of just view it as we're on the same court. He's going to me, I'm going to him. But I mean, you still admire their game. Like even though I'm trying to go at these dudes or whatever, you still admire their greatness. You still respect them. There's certain guys you don't talk trash to.
Yeah.
And you just respect what they've done in the league. So there's a ton of guys like that for sure.
So, you know, y'all talk about y'all idols. Y'all talk about matchups too. Somebody's checking the ball up right now, 1-on-1. Who's winning between y'all
Me
two?
and him?
Yeah.
Ask
1-on-1,
him.
2-11.
You
2-11.
better ask him.
We played.
You better ask him.
We
Don't
played.
lie.
Since y'all have been pros.
Yeah, it gets sick for him.
All right, we ain't played since we've been pros.
No, we've only played at Mocan, like in Mocan, and
And that wasn't fair, though.
why wasn't it fair though?
Why?
Because there was no rest, one.
Oh,
When
Mike,
we played
Mike be
ones,
fouling?
he got, bro, he be fouling.
You be fouling?
Be fouling.
To be honest, we never really like checked it up. Like, let's go 100%. We
Yeah.
play like at the end of practice and
Couple dribbles.
and just couple. We only do like
Yeah.
2 or 3 dribbles. So obviously, I have the advantage. If we're doing unlimited dribbles and he can do all his crazy stuff, like I don't know. But I mean, we're different positions, you know. So I don't know how that would go now. I mean, if he gets hot, he's gonna be hard to stop. If I get hot, I'm gonna just shoot over him, and it's gonna be hard to stop me. So it's gonna be tough.
That's fair.
He's saying the humble route. If there's no cameras in here, he's saying he beat me, and I'm letting him know I'm beating him.
Facts. I mean, it would be back in high school. Like, I think I was at the time the #1 ranked player, and I don't know, he was, you know, there was a lot of guards.
Mid-20s.
Mid-20s, but he always would tell me, Mike, I want you to know, like, I'm the #1 player in the country. You the #2 player in the country. So,
All the time.
yeah, off camera, we definitely got a little
Yeah.
competition going on.
But
Of course.
it'd be all right game.
It's all healthy.
It may go. If we went 7 games, it may be 3-4
For sure.
my way.
Mike, I know you taking a little bit of a pivot here, but we obviously got started this summer with From the Point. I know you got your own show, Curious Mike, man.
Mm-hmm.
How's that process been like for you, starting your own podcast, finding your own voice?
Yeah.
I know you just had an interview come out with AG.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite interviews, honestly, of all NBA podcasts. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of AG. So just talk about what podcasting has been like for you. And
Yeah, I think similarly to Trae, like, I think it's easy as an NBA player to get misunderstood as a person. You get, you know, people see how you are on the court. They see you in your competitive nature or whatever. Or even like we're in 2023. So, you know, people send out tweets. They post on Instagram, write a caption. And it's super easy for the world to perceive you a certain way or like to be taken out of context. And for me, like I sent out a couple of tweets. It's about certain situations in the world that I wanted to speak on or whatever. And, you know, right now in the world we live in, if you don't go along with like the social norm, like you get killed for it on social media. So for me, the podcast was just a place where I can talk openly about situations I want to, and I can like kind of show who I am as a person, but really just openly talk. And I named it Curious Mike. So it's like a humble way of saying I don't know everything, but I still want to talk about certain things, and I don't need people taking me out of context or taking one tweet I said and blowing it up. So for me, it's been good. I just get to have people on there. Trae's been on there, and we got to talk about, you know, a lot of stuff. But it's just a passion off the court, you know, a little hobby I like to do off the court.
yeah, what about you? I mean, we're now this will be our 11th.
Yeah.
What about you? I mean,
Nah.
just reflecting over the past 10, 11 shows.
Man, I mean, he hit the nail on the head. A lot of the same reasons. It's more about just trying to find ways to control your own voice. Sometimes when you talk to the media 2-3 times a day, every other day, it's like sometimes your words can get misconstrued, or you can't really say everything you want, or don't really have everything that you want to say on your mind right then. So like, having this platform, it gives us an opportunity. We can really, just get on it, and we can speak our mind and speak the truth, and then also people get to know the real side of us and get to, see more of the authentic, side of us and what we see and what we go through. So
Absolutely.
Right.
Speaking of AG, man, there was this hilarious video this summer about him and Jokic in Serbia in the summer, and they was like, some horse race or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be honest, bro. Like, is this dude really like obsessed with horses?
Joker?
Jokic?
Yeah, man. This dude, like, this
they got
dude,
video.
he definitely likes horses more than basketball. That's the best way to put it. Like, man, we'll be in there getting ready for practice at training camp, whatever, and he's on his phone watching the horse races. And then that's who AG is as a person. You know, he's the ultimate teammate. He's a carefree dude. He'll travel in the offseason by himself. So I know he pulled up on Joker, and I know they had a good time out there in Serbia. So, I mean, you know, they're both like one of a kind dudes. Joker all offseason is in Serbia drinking beer and watching horses. Like, he probably didn't touch a basketball all offseason, and somehow he got better. And then AG is just, he's a great teammate. He's just a free spirit. So he pulled up to Serbia. So I think I'm gonna try to get out there next year and see what Yoke has going on.
So you definitely go.
Yeah, I want to go check it out. Just see the culture out there. He tells me like it's fun out there. He says the nightlife is way better than it is over here. So I'm gonna go turn up with Joker.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. What is I mean, playing with a guy like as dominant as him, like you told me some stories before about how easy he makes it seem, but I mean, what is it like playing with a guy as dominant as Jokic?
I mean, like I've played with good passers. Like I play with you. I play with Jonte. You know, my brother, who's obviously a very good passer. He makes the game super easy for me. So I play with really good playmakers and passers. I think from the center position, the way the Joker, can get it in the post, teams come double, and now he's finding me open all the way across the court for open threes, or he's finding me on a cut. I feel like the two people who have benefited most from how Joker plays is me and Aaron, because Aaron's getting all these easy lobs, and playing out of the dunker spot. And when teams come double, he's throwing it up to AG. And then me, I'm getting just a lot of easy, wide open threes. I mean, I don't know how he's so good. Like, over the years, his routine has gotten like better and better. Like when I first came in the league, he wasn't that like locked in, but now, man, every day he's on time. He's probably, the first one to the gym getting his treatment in. He's religious about his routine. And it's just crazy to see. People see like his demeanor on the court and it's like, oh, he's just kind of nonchalant. But he is like, he's on it. So I think I just try to learn his work habits really and his routine and how he approaches the game. But he's the best player in the NBA. And, man, he probably could win MVP the next 4 or 5 years the way he plays. Like, it's crazy.
He puts up triple doubles every night, easy.
It's crazy.
I know you had said at one point that at first you were surprised that Joe was starting over Mason Plumlee.
Yeah.
At what point were you like, never mind? Like, you know what?
Yeah,
like
bro.
he is actually very much him.
Because like the Nuggets were the last team I thought I was going to get drafted to. Like I barely knew the Denver Nuggets were an NBA team. Like, so I get drafted there and they're telling me like they got this big dude who's really good. But you know how it is in college. Like we pay attention to the NBA now, but we really were paying more attention to college. So I didn't really know how good Joker was, but people around the organization kept telling me how good he was. We get out to training camp, and, Mason's a pretty athletic big, so he was just, catching lobs, dunking, running the floor, and Joker's just wobbling around, like not really caring, nonchalant, and he's not really killing in training camp. But they're like, no, just wait till you see when he actually wants to. He could score 40 a game if he wants to. I was like, man, there's no way. And then we get to the season, and he's going crazy, like, one game he'll have 20 rebounds. The next game he'll have 15 assists. The next game he'll have 30. The next game after that he'll have all those combined. Like, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? And then the craziest part about him is every year he's gotten better. Like, he was the MVP, then he got better and became the back-to-back MVP. And he's better like today than he was then. So it's just like, I don't know how to describe the dude, to be honest.
Minus him, is he the best passer in the world?
It's different. Like he's, I think there's a few passers that amaze me when we play. I think Trae, because I've always said like because of his size and the way he's looking people off and throwing the lob and getting it over the arms of longer defenders, it's really crazy to me. And then I think Joker, I think Luka, the way Luka will look off a defense and then dime somebody, and now Tyrese. Like I'd say like. I don't know if I'm missing anybody, but to me, those are the 4 dudes that like kind of amaze me with their passing.
Yeah.
What you think?
No, I mean, I think he said the ones that come to my mind. I mean, Luka be passing that shit. Like, I feel like if I was 6'8", like Luka is who I'd be like.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like
pass.
as far as scoring and as far as passing, like we do the same. Like look off, like if there's. Look off to the corner, swinging it from one side of the court to the other corner.
I just don't get how he does it being your size, though. It's
just like I gotta get. That's why I have to use my speed to get through gaps, and I gotta get to more creases. But that's why I get some deflected, and some turnovers that way too. Because I'm also always trying to find people, but sometimes it gets deflected that way.
Yeah.
But
What's been the favorite pass that you've ever caught from him, going all the way back to high school?
Man, there's so many. We connected on so many lobs. Like,
man,
man, my favorite one, I think it had to have been Peach Jam Championship. He knows, like, he also knows his players, so he knew, like, I'd have a big game if we wanted to win. We played a stacked team: Mo Bamba, Quade, Brandon Randolph. I think they had a few other really good players.
Hassan.
Hassan, the lefty, he was nice.
Yep.
But I missed my first shot.
Cole Anthony was on that team.
Cole Anthony. And so I missed my first shot. And I think we either got an offensive rebound or we went down and got a stop, and then we got the ball again. But Trae, dribbles the gap and just finds me for a quick dunk. I think I dunked on, like, Mo. I didn't, like Mo jumped past me and I dunked it. That was the first points of the game. But he just knew, like, okay, now Mike is probably rolling. He's feeling good. And just to know your players and know your personnel, like, I think that was a big one just because that was the Peach Jam Championship. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that play. I just remember, like, it's hard to remember one play because we made so many. Like, if you look back at our highlights, it's like we made so many plays, and then even in tournaments that people, it wasn't EYBL. It was just in Kansas City. Like, we had so many moments. I can just thinking of times throwing it between my legs back and letting him run, and we're in a small little gym just full of Kansas people, and people just going crazy. Like, we had so many moments, and, like, just that was a fun time. I got to learn how to, like, I can be a really good player and still play with somebody really good too, and, like, we can do some really good things. So it's cool.
You guys have so much history on the court, off the court. Kind of reflecting on that, what's one thing that you guys were grateful for getting to team up with each other, have that experience in high school? I remember, just from my own personal experience with Trae, obviously I didn't meet you until recently, but man, this dude would rave about you all the time, bro. I'd be like, dude, this dude Mike is, like, one of the coolest people I know. So I know there's a lot of history and a lot of admiration there between the two of you guys, but what's like one thing that you guys have been grateful for each other throughout this process?
Yeah, well, I remember first meeting Trae at the Nike 100 camp. I think it was in St. Louis. And, like, we both were kind of late bloomers, so we're both, like, kind of, like, not as grown as the other dudes in our class. They got mustaches, beards. And I remember seeing just this scrawny kid who was a really good point guard. But then, like, I was playing on MoCan the year before he came. And, we did all right, but, like, we weren't that good. And so we needed to go get a point guard. And then a guy named Matt Souther, who's kind of like the GM in NBA terms of MoCan, he's like, man, we found this dude. He's coming to practice, whatever. His name is Trae Young. And I had heard the name, but I couldn't put a face to the name. Then he walked in the gym the next day. I was like, oh, I remember him. Then we got on the court, and, like, he had gotten so much better. But, like, he took our team to a whole, like, another level. Like, I don't even think we made Peach Jam the year before he came. And then he came, and we both were young. We were playing up, so we were playing guys like De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum. But we made Peach Jam that year, and we were competing. And then the next year, we won it. But that's what I remember is just I finally got a point guard who we had the chemistry off the court. We was going to, our coach's crib and spending the night when we had the 3 days in Kansas City. And we just grew a bond. Like, we were trying to sneak out the crib together. We just young dudes. And then grew that relationship after that.
No, that's facts. Everything you said was facts. I mean, thing I remember most is just, like, obviously the road trips. Like, me and him were together for so long. One time we ended up just fighting. Just had to fight it out. Like, he was tackling me on the bed. Like, we was in a hotel room. Like, it was like we had spent so many weeks and weekends with each other, from USA to Peach Jam to all the camps and everything. We was in the same room, and we had just gotten so tired of each other. Little things was just making us so mad. And I just remember those times, and so, like, that's why we brothers to this day. And so it's really cool.
Man,
so.
That's awesome, man. Bell, before
that's hilarious.
But before we wrap, there's a clip that's been going around. Did Luka emulate your shot, man, overnight?
I don't know if he was trying to emulate my shot, but it looked like it though. I seen that.
Oh, he may have,
because he, like, jumped up and shot it. Yeah, I saw that. I think a couple of my teammates sent it to me. And then I seen the comments. They was like, if you emulate Michael Porter's game, like, he ain't going to get no assists no more. So that had me weak, too. But that's funny because he shoots it like he just barely jumps. So I saw that clip, and it was pretty funny.
So he was definitely imitating you.
Nah, but there's a few dudes that shoot like that in the league. Like, doesn't
Maybe
Cam...
Bertans. Maybe Bertans.
Bertans jumps like Cam Thomas jumps on his jumper.
Yeah. But you gotta think you the best. Like,
yeah, I'm the OG dude. That I jump on my jumper and to get it off. Yeah, for sure. That was a funny clip.
That was hilarious, though. I was like, I can't wait. I know we're sitting down with MPJ soon, so we gotta ask him about that.
No, for sure. Well, appreciate my brother coming again on the show. It's been another episode of From the Point by your favorite point. Catch us on Bleacher.
Yes, sir. Bleacher Report
y'all.
all season long.
Till next time.
My guys.
Peace.
Appreciate y'all boys, man.
Yes,
y'all,
sir.
y'all have some good questions.